What's up, horror fans? Anchor Pete here. We're doing an event with the Lasercast channel, which I'm also on, where we are going through all the movies in the Halloween franchise. Tonight, I am going to talk about Halloween from 2018, the newest timeline in the series. And I have a special guest with me. In Halloween 2018, Jamie Lee Curtis comes back into the franchise, and this is her second time returning. It's always a big deal when Jamie Lee comes in. And so for tonight, for Halloween 2018, I decided to bring my mom,
Hello, everyone.
who she's kind of around Jamie Lee Curtis's age. And so I'm kind of around Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter's age in the movie, too. So I thought it'd be appropriate to have her on for tonight's episode.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So, Mom, the original Halloween came out in 1978, right? That's before I was born, but you were certainly old enough to go see it.
Yeah,
Did you see that movie in the theater?
I did. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of these movies in the theater so far this time around, but I have seen Halloween H2O in the theater, and I saw this movie, Halloween 2018, in the theater. I saw this in 2018, and I actually really liked it the first time I saw it. Some people hail this as the best sequel to the original Halloween. They brought John Carpenter back for this one. He wrote Halloween 2. He wrote and directed Halloween 1 with Deborah Hill, and she also wrote Halloween 2 with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he came back as like a consultant, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was working with David Gordon Green, who's the director of this one and of Halloween Kills. And David Gordon Green before this hadn't made horror movies. He was kind of more with like comedy and stuff like that. And he works with this guy, Danny McBride.
Mm-hmm.
And you might not know him like just by name, but he's this like comedic actor. He's got like a mullet and a beard. Like, it was kind of a shocker that these two guys were making this
A
Halloween
horror movie together. Yeah.
But I think they did a really good job. It's not too silly, and they were saying how there was only like one joke in this movie, but there was a couple of funny moments.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like the little boy that's being the African American boy that's being babysat
with his toenails.
Yeah. My crusty ass toenails. I was a big fan of that. Then there's like the two cops in the car at the end, and like the one cop is like, I got this banh mi sandwich for you.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes. He liked peanut butter and jelly, right?
Right.
Yeah,
so you got a banh mi peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's funny stuff like that. Some people get turned off by stuff like that because they think it's too silly, but I thought it was good.
You need some humor to sort of break up the tension for a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like with the majority of these Halloween movies, a lot of the times the characters that aren't Laurie Strode or Loomis aren't very likable, right? In 4, 5, and 6, you have Jamie, who is supposed to be Laurie's daughter, and she's a little girl. And I like her. We follow her around for 2 of the movies, right? But in general, everyone's just kind of like fodder, basically, for Michael to kill, right?
That's for sure.
But what I liked about this movie is what I was very worried about. I was worried about it being like a little too modern, and I thought that the teenagers were going to get on my nerves, and I didn't think they were that irritating. What about you?
No, I like them. I especially like the daughter.
Yeah. I have all the names.
Laurie's granddaughter, Allison.
Allison
Yeah.
is
I liked her. I found her to be very compassionate, especially when Jamie Lee Curtis's character Laurie comes to the restaurant, and she has just reconsidered killing Michael Myers after he escapes.
Yeah.
And of course, she's having her little additional glass of wine after having the little airplane alcohol.
Yeah.
And she wasn't able to do it.
Right.
And she wants to show up because she's proud of her granddaughter and wants to somehow be part of family life, but her life has been so disrupted that she can't act normally with people.
Yeah.
And when she gets all upset and her daughter sort of casts her out, the granddaughter has compassion and follows after her, and they hug each other. And I like that tenderness between the two of them.
Yeah. They definitely have a thing going where it's like there's generations of that family. There's Laurie and her daughter and their relationship, and then like her daughter, whose name's Karen, and her daughter Allison, their relationship, and then Laurie's relationship. So yeah, it's cool. There's like these 3 generations of women affected by Michael.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The movie has a really, really good opening, right?
When I first saw that, it harkened back to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest for me,
Yeah, yeah.
especially like putting on the music
Yeah.
and all the people that are there getting their medication and just staring out with blank faces or looking at the wall, just in their own little world. So
Yeah.
it really reminded me of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest at that point.
Yeah. And here's like a light spoiler for Halloween Kills, but it's kind of interesting, like characters that are in this movie. Like when you see Halloween Kills, you're like, oh shit, that guy was like in Halloween 2018. There's a bunch of moments like that, and like there's this one mental patient that they show a lot of in Halloween Kills, and he's in that beginning sequence when the two podcasters.
Yes, absolutely. The one with the umbrella, right?
Yeah. So the two podcasters go there. Just that sequence where the guy Aaron, that's the guy from the podcast, he tries to get Michael to talk, and just the tension's building up, and you just see the back of Michael. It's so good, and like just this kind of like noise, this cacophony is kind of building up, right?
Because they all pick up on the vibe. They're all influenced by it, and it comes to a fever pitch.
Yeah. And Michael he's played by a different actor this time around. There's only been a couple of times where like the same actors played Michael in two different movies. And this time around, there are parts where he's played by the guy that was Michael the first time, Nick Castle. But then I think he was mainly played by a guy named Jude Courtney, right?
Yeah.
And so when you see his back, because he doesn't have the mask on, right? It's like he's an old man. He's like 60-something years old.
Right.
And his eye's still fucked up from when Laurie stabbed him in the eye. Right, I just love that detail, and Michael is referred to as the Shape, because he's just supposed to be this sort of like personality-less, lifeless kind of killing machine, right?
Yeah, she said I saw the Shape,
right?
When
Laurie
they're at
says
the restaurant.
Yeah, there's a couple of moments where Laurie kind of says stuff that's like real spot on, like she sees that new doctor and she's like, "Oh, you're the new Loomis," or like, "I saw the Shape." Like, all right, this is not fan fiction. Let's settle down, right? But just that scene, and then when it does the credits. And the jack-o'-lantern like forms up. I thought that was so cool.
Sort of resurrected.
Right.
Yeah.
So I love that. And then there's scenes that kind of mirror the original Halloween. Like there's a scene where Allison is in class and it looks just like when Laurie's in class. She looks out the window and Laurie is standing outside.
Where Michael had stood.
Right. And there's a sequence like that in the very end where Michael stabs Laurie and then she falls off the balcony, and he looks on the ground, and it's just like when Michael fell on the ground. So sometimes when it's like fan service like that, it bothers people. But I think that they didn't go overboard with it. Like you have this great sequence in the very beginning where he gets his mask, or they see his mask, and then he escapes. And they don't show the sequence where he escapes. It's just you have this father and son drive up to the crash site, right?
And the poor boy wanted to go to his dance lesson. Instead, he had to go with his dad.
Yeah, that might be the most fucked up part in the whole movie is when he kills that little boy. Because like, how old do you think that boy's supposed to be? Like 11 or 12. So Pepper's age, that's cool.
Yeah, and also with regard to children, if you remember too, the woman that he stabs in the neck by the window. Okay, and the baby that's in the crib. He just walks by the baby.
He just walks by.
He doesn't kill. I'm like, oh please, you're not going to kill him too.
Yeah, well, right. Well, yeah, and like Sherry kind of chimed in before, because in Halloween 2, the original one with Jamie Lee Curtis, he walks past like a maternity ward too at one point. So that's kind of like an homage to that. Yeah, he stabs that one woman. Well, let's talk about that sequence, because that sequence is like
it's all one long shot.
Right. That sequence is pretty awesome. I remember seeing that in the theater, and I was like, "Oh, this is good." Because you just follow him, and then like he looks around, and in that sequence, I don't know if you remember this, but in Halloween Kills, there's this couple where the woman is a doctor and the husband is a nurse.
Yes.
And that's their Halloween costumes, right?
Yeah, but reverse. Like the woman is a doctor and she's wearing the nurse's outfit.
Oh,
right.
Yeah. Which that's like the Bonnie and Clyde thing too.
Right.
But anyway, like in that sequence where Michael's walking around the town, you see those two people.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw them going into their car.
Right. So it's just like I don't think that these movies were filmed like back to back, but they might have been. I don't know. I think that COVID did affect the filming of this movie. I'm
Mhm,
not sure.
mhm.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, not the filming of this movie, but
But
Halloween Kills.
yeah.
But anyway, that whole sequence where he's like walking around and he gets that hammer and then he hammers the one woman in the head. And you see
Right.
it's off screen. You see a chair fall over,
Uh-huh.
right? And then he picks up the knife,
Right.
and then he goes in, and then there's a great sequence where like he looks out the window, and then he walks away, and then she comes in because she doesn't know he's there.
Right.
Then he like slams her head down and stabs her through the
Yeah,
neck.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah, she had just gotten off the phone being
Right.
warned, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, it's a little too late.
yeah. The sequence with Allison's friend too. I felt bad for her. The babysitter,
Vicky?
Vicky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because she didn't seem like an asshole. She was
Right. She was nice with the boy.
Yeah.
You know, they had a good relationship, the two
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah. She even says like this real sweet thing because she says to him, she's like, you know, you're like my 10th favorite. But then later on, she's like, no, you are my favorite.
Yeah.
Danny has said that if you take the doctor in this one out,
Mhm.
then it makes it like a really good movie. And I think Danny even said that this one is like, if you take the doctor out, then it makes this like top 3 or 4 Halloween movie.
Mhm.
He might even said that with the doctor in it, it's still top 3 or 4 for the Halloween movies. But what did you think of that doctor?
He was okay.
Yeah.
But he wasn't a Loomis.
Yeah, he's kind of more of a plot device, right? Because you find out by Halloween Kills that like he essentially set up the
facilitated the escape, right?
Yeah. But and he kind of has a little bit of exposition where he says that like Michael might only still be living because he wants to get Laurie, and so that Laurie might still be living because she's trying to not be killed by Michael.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
he says a line like that,
Mhm.
so it's kind of like alluding to where, like Michael gets this like supernatural ability from.
Mhm.
Like, they make a joke about this in the very beginning. Like Vicky and Allison and Allison's boyfriend are walking in the town,
Yeah.
and oh no, I don't know if it's Allison's boyfriend. It might be the other guy, Oscar. You remember Oscar?
Yeah, the one that's impaled.
Yeah. It's either I think it's the boyfriend because he like
It
blows
is the
up
boyfriend.
a pumpkin. Right?
It is the
He
boyfriend.
blows up the pumpkin.
Yeah.
And so there's a part where he's like, okay, well, so like 5 people were murdered, like a lot of traumatic things happen. Right. And so it's funny because when you see Halloween Kills, it's not like, here's spoilers for Halloween Kills. It's not like Halloween 2 happens where Michael goes to this hospital and kills a bunch of people there. It's like literally Halloween 1 ends, one other cop gets killed, and then Michael is captured and incarcerated. So he only killed like 7 people. Because what people always forget, there's this one guy that Michael kills and he takes his overalls in the first movie.
Okay.
And you don't really realize it because they just show his body like in a field. But that's where he got his overalls from.
Yes,
right?
I remember that.
And so they always say 5 people were killed, but they don't ever include that guy.
I know. I was trying to figure out the death count.
Yeah. But the thing that is kind of like the main set piece of that movie is the fight at the end between Laurie and Michael, right?
Mhm.
And she's got this great plan for how to prepare for him. It's like someone that has like really like prepped for
So many
a slasher.
years. Yeah.
Right, except that she has a room full of mannequins. I don't know if that's very efficient. Here, go look for this killer, and then there's a bunch of shapes in this room, right? But I really like how she like pushes the buttons and makes the
grating
come down,
Yeah.
and then there's that center like island or whatever that
in the kitchen
moves, right? And Michael just fucking rips that off the ground. And then of course the spikes go across the doorway, and then he can't get up.
Yep. And the gas, she turns on all the gas.
Did you think that would have been the end of Michael when you first saw it?
No, because I mean, he gets out of any and everything, so
yeah,
it's just going to keep on. It'll never go away.
Yeah. Like spoilers for Halloween H2O, but like Jamie Lee Curtis, when she comes back in that one, she like literally chops off his head with the axe. But then it's like in the next movie, it's like, oh, he put a mask on somebody else.
Okay. Yeah, they have to figure something out every time.
Retcon it. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Right. So, did you like the part when her daughter Karen has the gun and she's seeming like she's all freaked out,
Mhm,
and then she's
mhm.
like, got him and shoots him.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one of my favorite parts.
Even you know when the three of them are sitting in the back of the truck and the knife is on the side there next to
Yeah,
her,
yeah,
and you're just thinking now this is all filtering down, and now it's affecting the daughter because she's pretty much been spared up until now.
yeah.
So I don't know. Will she play a bigger part in the future? In other movies, maybe she'll continue on in Jamie Lee Curtis's, place. Who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah. There's definitely that. Sometimes in the Halloween films, they kind of allude to the woman that he's stalking kind of becoming like him. Like in the Rob
Yes.
Zombie ones, Laurie becomes institutionalized by the second one, right?
Mhm.
Because she starts to lose her mind.
Mhm.
And in the ones where it's like Laurie had a daughter and her name is Jamie,
Mhm.
she's a 7-year-old girl, but then she almost has like this like psychic connection with Michael. And by the end of the fourth one, it seems like she's become a killer.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so that's kind of what I was thinking when I saw her with the knife in the truck. I was like, well, this could go one of either ways. Like it's like that she's traumatized, or maybe that she's gonna become twisted or something too.
I was leaning more towards that.
The twisted one?
Mhm.
Yeah, if the idea was if Michael was killed in that fire, but then like luckily, and we see in Halloween Kills, a bunch of firefighters show up like immediately and douse the flames.
And he takes care of all of them.
Yeah. So just we'll do a quick, just like, what are your kind of general thoughts of Halloween Kills?
Uh-huh.
And I'm gonna just say from now on, this is spoilers for Halloween Kills, which I know just came out. So if you don't want Halloween Kills truly spoiled, turn this off now, right? But so did you? Which one did you like better, the Halloween from 2018 or Halloween Kills?
I would say 2018. I think I found like Halloween Kills got a little bit crazy at the end, where everybody was obsessed with getting Michael no matter what, and they just became a mindless mob. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Uh, yeah, I would say 2018. I preferred.
Yeah, it seems like one of the main complaints is just like everyone forming up a mob and making kind of poor choices.
Uh-huh.
Um, to me, the reason why I like the 2018 Halloween is just because it's like very straightforward. It's like Michael escapes, he comes after Laurie Strode, and he's kind of going after her granddaughter too.
Mm-hmm.
In Halloween Kills, it's like these little vignettes of like different people in the town, and I wouldn't say that any of them are like super interesting.
Mm-hmm.
There's the two dudes,
Sorry,
Big John and Little
yes,
John.
I love them.
You love them?
But I felt sorry for the nurse. You remember the nurse that was with Dr. Loomis, and now she's coming back, and she does get killed, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I sort of felt sorry for her.
Well, I think that's another thing that kind of bothers people, though, is that the movie's just like chock full of people that are like essentially references to the previous Halloween movies.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, well, why are they back just so they can just get killed by Michael?
Yeah.
Like there's a distinct difference between the 2018 Halloween and Halloween Kills, which is that there's like a lot of over dramatic dialogue in Halloween Kills, and it's not in the 2018.
Oh, it's ridiculous in the hospital and stuff like that.
Oh
my god!
And that's another problem, is that Jamie Lee Curtis is like barely in it,
right?
And
because
like,
she's in the hospital bed.
At all. Yeah. And but one thing I did love about Halloween Kills is that Jim Cummings is in it.
Yes, that was, you're talking about the sheriff that gets killed. He gets shot by his partner accidentally. Yeah.
But like, I didn't know he was gonna be in it, and then he showed up. I was like, oh shit! and he looks like he does in Wolf of Snow Hollow.
Yes.
Yeah. We're big fans.
Which is an excellent movie that I just rewatched.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we're big fans of Jim Cummings in this house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Halloween Kills, I'm not so much of a big fan. And in that one, they definitely established that like Michael is supernatural, right? Because I mean, they beat the shit out of him, they stab him in the back, and then he gets up and he slaughters all the people. So we'll see what happens in Halloween Ends. I think it's supposed to take place 5 years after Halloween Kills ends.
Okay.
That's pretty much it for our Halloween 2018 review. Let us know, do you like Halloween 2018 better than Halloween Kills or vice versa. Um, we are still deep in this Halloween franchise uh, discussion with the Anchor Pete channel and the Lastercast channel. So make sure that you're subscribed to both. And we will talk to you guys again next time.